Have you ever felt like you're fighting a silent battle within yourself? A struggle against your own insecurities, fears, and shadows that seem to follow you at every step of your journey? If that resonates with you, know that you're not alone. The path for those chosen to spiritually evolve isn't easy. It's filled with internal conflicts, constant doubts, and the fear of not being able to overcome your challenges. But here's the thing, those shadows, those parts of you that seem to sabotage your progress, can actually become your greatest source of strength and enlightenment. In this video, we'll reveal the secrets behind this transformation. You'll learn how to face your fears courageously, understand the real purpose of the doubts that cross your path, and most importantly, how to find your inner light by confronting your shadows. This is for those who feel they've been called to a deeper journey, one that goes beyond the surface and dives into self-discovery and spiritual growth. Imagine for a moment if, instead of being held back by your weaknesses, you could use them as stepping stones to your evolution. What if every internal conflict was the key to a higher level of consciousness? You're about to discover that this transformation isn't just possible, it's inevitable when you commit to your journey. This video is made for the chosen ones, those who know their path is anything but ordinary and are willing to face the deepest truths about themselves. If you feel like there's something inside you waiting to be revealed, something far beyond appearances, keep watching. The answers you seek are closer than you think, and the light you've been searching for is waiting to emerge from the shadows you fear. Are you ready for this transformation? Then let's take this journey together to uncover your true inner strength. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like there's more to you than what you can see? Maybe a part of yourself that you avoid or find hard to acknowledge. These are your inner shadows, the parts we hide but that still influence our thoughts, actions, and even our spiritual path. The chosen ones, those who seek deep growth, know that the first step to true spiritual transformation is to look directly at those shadows. Facing what's hidden can be uncomfortable, but it's in this confrontation that the journey of deep self-awareness begins. Recognizing and accepting our spiritual weaknesses takes courage. It's easy to identify with our strengths, but admitting our fears, insecurities, and flaws requires a level of honesty that not everyone is ready to reach. However, this is where the chosen ones stand out. Instead of running from their imperfections, they face them head-on. When you allow yourself to acknowledge your shadows, you're opening a door to true transformation. More than that, you're telling yourself that you're ready to grow and become the most authentic version of you. Many believe that ignoring these shadowy parts is the easiest way. But what happens when we sweep dust under the rug? It just piles up until one day it's impossible to ignore. In the same way, when you avoid confronting your fears and insecurities, they grow within you. Facing your shadows isn't just about recognizing them, it's also about understanding how they've shaped your life so far. By realizing the impact these hidden aspects have on your everyday life, you start to take control and begin the process of healing and integration. And here's the most transformative part of this process. By shining a light on your shadows, you'll discover they hold the key to your spiritual growth. The inner light we seek doesn't come only from our virtues but also from the integration of our darkest parts. Every time you accept a flaw, acknowledge a fear, or confront an insecurity, you're strengthening your connection to your true self. In the end, confronting the hidden self isn't just a battle, it's a gateway to deep self-discovery and a new way of living with more awareness and purpose. Spiritual fear, like any other fear, often comes from the experiences we've had and the beliefs we've picked up along the way. Many of these beliefs may be tied to past traumas, family lessons, or even expectations imposed by society. When we look at our deepest fears, like the fear of failing spiritually or not being worthy of enlightenment, we start to realize that these fears are often not truly our own. They could be echoes of family patterns passed down through generations, or remnants of past experiences that haven't been fully processed. For the chosen ones, understanding the root of these fears is a crucial step. Every time a fear shows up, it brings an opportunity for healing. These fears are like parts of ourselves that still need to be seen and embraced. When we look at fear with compassion, rather than avoiding or suppressing it, we begin the process of dissolving it. The first key to overcoming fear is recognizing its origin, which often requires deep self-reflection. Where's this fear coming from? What is it trying to show me? By asking these questions, we start to take away the power that fear has over us. It's also important to understand that fear often shows up as an instinctive response to the unknown. The spiritual path is full of uncertainties, and every new step takes us into unfamiliar territory. The ego, which seeks safety and stability, might create fear scenarios to keep us in our comfort zone. This is where courage comes in, not as a way to deny fear, but as a conscious response to it. Being courageous doesn't mean eliminating fear altogether, but acting in spite of it. Courage is like a muscle that gets stronger with every small act of overcoming. Chosen ones learn that courage shows up in small, everyday actions. Every time you choose to move forward toward your spiritual goals, even when fear tries to hold you back, you're building your courage. Think of it as a series of daily tests. You face a challenging situation, and even though you feel afraid, you choose to keep going. Over time, this constant practice turns courage into a natural state of being. The fear that once seemed overwhelming starts to lose its grip, because you're more and more used to confronting and overcoming it. The journey of the chosen ones is filled with this daily battle between fear and courage. And each time fear is conquered, it transforms into a valuable lesson. One example of this could be exposing yourself to small, uncomfortable situations you've been avoiding, like having a tough conversation or trying something that seems outside your comfort zone. Little by little, these smaller challenges strengthen your resilience and prepare you for bigger ones. Over time, the insecurity that once dominated you turns into self-confidence, and fear reveals itself as just a stepping stone on the path to your spiritual evolution. Doubt is a part of human nature. It often shows up just when we're about to make a big leap in our spiritual evolution. For the chosen ones, internal doubts are like an invisible battlefield. Unlike fear, which is more obvious, doubts tend to be subtle, showing up as that constant voice making us question our choices and abilities. Am I really on the right path? What if all of this is just an illusion? These questions echo inside us, and if we don't face them, they can turn into traps that keep us stuck. However, doubts aren't necessarily negative. They play an important role in the self-discovery process. Doubts can push us to question our beliefs more deeply, to examine our thought patterns, and to seek a clearer understanding of our purpose. The key is recognizing the kind of doubt you're dealing with. Some doubts are healthy, they make us reflect in a productive way and help us make wiser decisions. But then there are the paralyzing doubts, fed by fear and insecurity, that block us and make us question our own essence. For the chosen ones, the challenge is learning to distinguish between these two types of doubt. When healthy doubt arises, it brings a sense of curiosity, a desire to explore more deeply. Paralyzing doubt, on the other hand, comes with fear, anxiety, and a sense of helplessness. Once you've identified the nature of the doubt, you can start the process of reframing it. This involves a conscious internal dialogue, where you question the root of these uncertainties. Ask yourself, is this doubt based on facts or on the fear of failure, and what can I learn from this uncertainty? A powerful practice for overcoming doubts is using positive affirmations. The mind has a natural tendency to repeat negative thought patterns, but affirmations can help reprogram it. By repeating phrases like "I am on the right path," "I trust my process," or "I am in harmony with the universe," you are intentionally shifting your mind toward more constructive thoughts aligned with your purpose. Every time a doubt comes up, you can use these affirmations to redirect your energy and strengthen your confidence. Internal dialogue is another valuable tool for dealing with doubts. Imagine you're having a conversation with a mentor or a wise friend. How would they respond to your doubts? Often, when we verbalize our uncertainties, we can see the answers that were inside us all along. This practice not only brings clarity but also helps us develop self-compassion, a key element for those on the spiritual path. By practicing this internal dialogue, you're not denying your doubts but welcoming them in a loving and conscious way, allowing them to turn into valuable lessons. Overcoming doubts doesn't mean eliminating them completely, but learning to live with them in a more harmonious way. They'll still come up from time to time, but each time you face a doubt and choose to move forward, you're building an unshakable confidence in your spiritual process. Over time, this confidence grows so strong that doubts lose their power to paralyze. They simply become part of the journey, a reminder that you're constantly evolving. Internal conflicts are a constant part of the life of anyone seeking spiritual growth. They come in many forms: emotional dilemmas, mental doubts, and spiritual crises. Each type of conflict carries its own unique lesson. Emotional conflict challenges us to deal with difficult feelings like anger, sadness, envy, or guilt. While these emotions can be uncomfortable, they teach us to develop empathy for ourselves and for others. As we move through emotional conflict, we become more aware of our reactions and learn to handle emotions in a more balanced way. Mental conflict, on the other hand, is tied to our beliefs and how we understand the world. When we begin to question our long-held certainties, we experience a mental crisis that can temporarily throw us off balance. However, it's through this process of questioning that clarity emerges. The chosen ones understand that internal struggles are a way to expand the mind, to let go of limiting beliefs, and to make room for new insights. Mental conflict is often the precursor to a major transformation, as it forces us to look beyond what we already know and explore new mental territory. Spiritual conflict, however, is the deepest of all. It involves questioning our faith, our purpose, and our place in the universe. This kind of conflict can be especially challenging because it makes us doubt the most fundamental truths we believe in. Yet, when we face these spiritual crises head-on, they lead us to a higher state of consciousness. Spiritual conflict pushes us to reconnect with our purest essence and reminds us that the spiritual journey is a constant search for enlightenment, where each crisis brings us closer to the truth. What we often don't realize is that these conflicts repeat in cycles. It might feel like we're facing the same problem over and over, but in reality, each cycle reveals a deeper layer of ourselves. With each repetition, we're more prepared, more aware, and stronger to deal with the challenge. These cycles of conflict are actually a sign of progress, indicating that we're advancing and diving deeper into our spiritual journey. Every conflict we overcome strengthens our spiritual resilience, the ability to keep growing even in the face of the greatest adversities. Chosen ones learn to view conflict as an opportunity for transformation. Instead of resisting or avoiding inner struggles, they embrace them with gratitude, knowing that each conflict brings a valuable lesson. A practical example of this is when you find yourself repeatedly in situations that trigger negative emotions, like a difficult relationship or a stressful work situation. Instead of avoiding the confrontation, you decide to face it head-on, reflecting on what these situations are trying to teach you. Over time, you realize these challenges aren't punishments, but opportunities to grow and become spiritually stronger. Each time we overcome a conflict, whether emotional, mental, or spiritual, we leave behind an old version of ourselves and move closer to our true essence. Conflict is, therefore, a tool for transformation. It shapes us, strengthens us, and prepares us for the next steps on our journey. And so, the chosen ones continue their path, knowing that every inner battle, no matter how painful, is an essential part of the process of enlightenment. Along the spiritual journey, one of the greatest discoveries chosen ones make is that by facing their shadows, they unlock a powerful inner light. What once seemed like a weakness or limitation reveals itself as the source of their true strength. This process of transformation, of bringing to light what was hidden in the shadows, is what allows for personal and spiritual growth. Inner light is not something found externally, it comes from within as we integrate and accept all parts of ourselves, even those that initially seemed dark. This path, however, isn't easy. It takes courage to look within and face the most challenging aspects of our psyche. But the result is freeing. By confronting these hidden parts, the chosen ones discover an inner power they never imagined they had. This inner strength, once buried under layers of fear, insecurity, and doubt, begins to shine with an intensity that transforms their lives. It's at this point they realize their shadows were never enemies but allies in the search for self-knowledge and spiritual growth. What's even more amazing is that this inner light doesn't just illuminate the chosen one's own path, it also empowers them to guide others. By recognizing and overcoming their own shadows, they become beacons for those still lost in their internal battles. The strength that emerges from the shadows is deep and authentic because it wasn't gained easily. It was a battle, a journey, and each scar is a reminder of an obstacle overcome, a fear defeated, and a doubt left behind. Thus, the chosen ones realize their true strength isn't in the absence of shadows but in the ability to turn them into light. This inner light is the greatest gift of the spiritual journey, and every step, no matter how difficult, brings them closer to their purest and most powerful essence. By embracing their shadows, they become whole, and in this wholeness, they find the power to keep growing and help others walk the same path of self-discovery. You've made it this far, and throughout this journey, you've discovered that the shadows that once scared you can now be seen in a new light. They're not obstacles but doors that open to reveal your true inner strength. Every battle fought with your fears, insecurities, and doubts has brought you closer to a deep transformation. And now, you know that the light you've been seeking isn't outside of you but in the hidden parts of yourself that have finally been recognized and integrated. The courage to face your shadows is what sets the chosen ones apart. Instead of running or hiding, you choose to confront challenges head-on. And it's in that confrontation that your light grows stronger. Remember, every small act of overcoming, every doubt reframed, every inner conflict you transform is one more step on your spiritual growth journey. Your journey is just beginning, and the shadows that once held you back have now become your allies. Now, I invite you to put into practice everything you've learned today. Look within, face your shadows with courage, and let your inner light shine brighter than ever. If this content has helped you in any way, leave a comment, share your experiences, and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving valuable insights into your spiritual development. Remember, the chosen ones don't fear the shadows. They embrace, transform, and make them the foundation for a life of purpose and enlightenment. Stay strong on your journey, knowing that with each step, you're getting closer to becoming the most authentic and powerful version of yourself. See you in the next video, where we'll continue this journey together.